That wasn't it. We hadn't begun.
It wasn't my fake beginning to lure you in.
Wow.
With
Okay.
it.
What are we talking about today,
So,
Joe?
first we'll go back to the big news from last week.
Mm-hmm.
The European Super League, which turned out to be the biggest wet fart of all time.
Yeah.
That was over the next day.
Yeah. It really was.
It was stupid. I'm never believing anything anyone says ever again. That was made seem like the biggest thing in the world, and it was just like...
But these are huge companies. Like, they're the biggest footballing companies in all the world. And not one of them thought, let's maybe test the waters of this before we decide to announce that the European Super League is going ahead. Maybe we should ask the fans, or, just have a little... one of those...
a focus group?
A focus group, okay, and just say...
6 fans.
What would you say if we decided to take the biggest footballing clubs out of the Champions League and set up their own little fun league?
Just a fun league.
Yeah, that they let 5 other teams in.
Yeah, and they're always going to win and play, and you get lots of money. And
let's just see how they react to that before we make an announcement.
But the thing was, the way they announced it was so sneaky and big shock and surprise, and like, haha, we're doing this, that I thought they were like... being evil villains. They knew what was going to happen. So the fact you were doing that, and then excuse me, you're so shocked by their reaction, it just makes you seem like an idiot rather than being evil. You're like, these guys are just stupid. How did you not think that was going to happen?
And then everybody started resigning
instantly. They all just
people, like the CEOs of all these things.
The House of Cards just crumbles. We're ready for some blowback.
I'm sorry for this.
Not this much blowback. Quick.
I quit.
I quit.
Madness.
So cowardly and stupid.
Yeah, but
look,
they're saying it's like that's it. Like your man from Real Madrid is still saying this could still go ahead. Like ultimately, people have signed contracts, and they're biding like contracts that they've signed. So they can't just go, no, I don't want to be in it anymore. Like that's not how contracts work.
Popular. Yeah, that's the popularity contract.
Yeah.
But do you think it'll end up like Brexit or COVID now with everything else that'll
go on forever?
Just forever. There'll just be some huge drawn out thing where every week they'll be like, oh, they have to go to court to do this. Oh, we actually have to do this. Oh, we have to actually play one game to make sure we can then void the contract or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous, but I lost so much respect for them. I just thought, at least if you're evil billionaires who are only interested in money and destroying everything else you own to get more money out of it, I can almost respect that, because that at least you were efficient and you have a plan and you're kind of ruthless. But if you're so clueless that you didn't think there was going to be that reaction,
some sort of backlash,
and then when the reaction happened that you instantly caved and were like, oh god, no,
and all the apologies coming out, they're all
so snivelly, and you're like, oh my god, the Glazers,
we're so sorry, we didn't realise
the
fans are so important to us, and this is what we want you to love us again, so we're going to buy a player.
Fans would have come.
We'll buy players for you. We'll do something. We'll get you back on side.
We're going to buy a really bad player. We're going to spend loads of money on him, and he's going to not do anything, but it'll be great. It'll give us something to argue about for another 10 years.
Yeah,
because the fans would have come. They could have just made the fans come. I know everyone was giving out, but fans would have just shown up.
Of course,
all the fans protesting, because someone was giving out about that at the grounds, that all the people protesting on like a Tuesday morning who don't have any jobs anyway. Because there was a funny video I saw, and it was like cutting between, it was from an American business point of view, and apparently that's the big thing, all the American money that's coming into the Premier League is because of the way it's structured. It's a good investment, so lots of American people are like trying to, if you invest in like a second division club, and they're worth nothing, they're real small money, so if you dump a bit of money in there, all of a sudden they are like Manchester City compared to other second division clubs.
Yeah.
It's really easy. They've seen loads of clubs promoted and get promoted again, or there's lots of big, like famous old clubs with huge fan bases that are kind of languishing. So if you get them into the Premiership, all of a sudden it's like winning the lotto.
Mr. Moneybucks.
Yeah, so they're just looking at it from that point of view, that like, oh, you can get one of these and it's possible to get in here. So if you pick the right one. And it's funny to see all these American nerdy businessmen just doing things purely from a financial point of view. And then they're like, yeah, well, like these real like tech guys who are real pleasant and nice, but they're just sort of putting a happy face on the fact that they're just like, how do I make more money from all this money I have by taking your thing? And then it was cutting between them, they're like talking about the fans, and they cut to the fans, and it was always just these like complete maniac English boffer guys like on the streets with a flag, burning it, going, "Get out of here! Get out of here! You'll never take our club! You'll never take our club!" Ah! And you're like, oh my god, these are the evil geniuses they're up against, and they're like, yeah, the fans are so proud and passionate, and no one's burned an effigy of me outside my house yet, so I think I'm doing pretty good. And you're like, oh my god, it's like something out of Braveheart versus something out of like the chilling future, and it's an interesting combination.
But that had all gone quiet, like, you know, there weren't many protests going on inside United saying Glazers out or whatever. It was like that at the beginning, but like once we were still winning things, I guess, but they have been just taking money out of the club as well. Like it's a mad thing that like instead of investing the money that they're making out of United back into United to buy the best players or get them, they've been like taking billions out.
But they just use it something and we just own using that it to pay off money. Debt elsewhere or something like, you know, it's just another heartbreaking thing. It is heartbreaking, but it's just sign of the times, and I wonder if it will all happen eventually anyway, if this is the first sort of scare tactic with a wind back from, but the idea has been seeded now. That's what I think is going to happen, that the idea has been seeded.
They planted it.
And everyone's going to talk about it, and now you're going to go back to things, and everyone's going to be more, because it's the same thing going back to like the Champions League and UEFA, and they're not exactly paragons of football love or purity and stuff. So, or the World Cup in Qatar. That's, as I was saying, everyone lost their minds over this so extremely that I was like, oh my god, this is like changing the world now. Things will never be the same, and for it just to be over in a day, you're like, okay, maybe ring me when something important happens that's actually going through. And the fact that we're going to have a Christmas World Cup in Qatar next year, where all the leagues are going to have to rearrange their entire seasons.
It'll nearly be too hot then. Still,
it's the middle of the desert. Like having it on the sun. Having it at Christmas, like, oh, it's a little better. It's not
have to make these state of the art stadiums with like air conditioning in them and stuff.
They're open at the top, but somehow still air conditioned. Yeah, and they're all built by like actual slaves. They're like people. There's like 6,000 people have died building these stadiums, building football stadiums. Remember we were talking about golf courses in the middle of the desert. Imagine building a football stadium. Yeah. It's like the pyramids or something.
Oh my god!
And everyone's gonna go, oh yeah, it's so sad, but we're still gonna go and watch it and stuff. Yeah. But then when it was like European Super League, no relegation? Are you kidding me? Never. This is destroying football, the spirit of football. You're like,
6,000 people have died.
Yeah, 6,000 like migrant workers from the Himalayas or Tibet or wherever they come from, who just can't get work anywhere and get visas to go. They're like, imagine building something really hard, but you're doing it in the middle of the desert.
Yeah.
All day. And it's not like they're like, water break, guys. Go in and get yourself. You got everyone okay for water? You got your little fans? They're like living in like tin shacks and little tin things and being like,
oh my god. I can't get over that. 6,000.
Yeah, it's insane. And FIFA, remember that was
like,
all...
even if you lost 5 people,
yeah,
you know, that's
5
bad.
Is like,
you know,
5 is like 6, building a stadium.
How have they not just shut it down? That's crazy.
Because people don't care. You know, you're not getting the outrage that you are over.
Well, they're getting it from me now.
They're good.
I'm not happy about this.
Ireland are protesting.
Who do I write to?
The World Cup.
My local MP,
Gianno Infantino. What's the guy? Your local MP, yeah.
Yeah. And
the Glazers and the head of FIFA and Coca-Cola.
I actually don't trust my local MP. If I'm honest, I don't trust any politicians.
TD. MP is the English.
Oh, TD. Sorry, yeah.
Oh
no.
Oh, Graeme's revealed that he lives in Westminster. He lives in Westminster. It's Coca-Cola, whatever corporate sponsorship as well of the thing. You need to put some pressure on, some hashtag activism by tweeting at Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola, do you know I'm never drinking Coca-Cola again if you continue to sponsor World Cup 22 in Qatar? It's an outrage. Yeah, they'll go, fuck you, mate. Yeah. we don't give a shit.
Do you know how many people drink Coca-Cola?
You know what? You're going to drink it again. Oh, no, you will. You give it maybe a year.
I probably will.
Maybe 2 years.
It'd be hard to give up Coke forever.
We got you. There's nothing else to drink. Next time you're at McDonald's, what are you going to have? Milkshake? With your chips? Are you mad?
We make the milkshakes too.
We own it all. You can't escape. Just give in. Which is basically it. So I was kind of on for the Super League, just out of pure boredom. See, I don't have the same thing. I was thinking about this. I think I like watching football and I get into it, but my football first fandom when I was young was started more by like Ireland being in the World Cup and stuff, and like
1990,
88, 90, and 90 is the one I really remember. Well, not really, but like more so. I remember a little bit 88 and that, because my dad, we didn't have a football family, so I wasn't really into football, whereas I think all ye had sure. So it was like much more club focused from very young, so you're very into that. So I followed United a bit as a teenager, and everyone did, but the one I knew that I wasn't a true fan, I don't really care, was when they won their famous Champions League victory in 99 comeback. And at the moment I was like, oh, it's a bit of a smash and grab, isn't it? That's all I thought. I was like,
really?
Yeah. So I was like, actually, maybe.
I had one of the best nights of my life that
and
night.
as all true United hearts did. So
yeah,
I was like, I don't really care. I'll stick to just enjoying it.
Yeah, so you're probably as well, because like when they lose, it kind of puts a dampener on your day. You know, it can really affect you.
It really does you anyway. Yeah.
Well, no. Well, I have to say, it used to affect me more. I don't let it affect me as much as it used to.
It's emotional gambling, I call it. You kind of go, I'm going to tie how I feel to the result of this match.
Yeah.
So hopefully it's good, but it could be terrible. And more, it used to always be good. You were pretty much on a winning streak for about 20 years there, and now.
So it's rare that you get me in those slumps of United losing, you know?
The doldrums.
But hopefully we'll get those times back again
come back
soon enough.
You could have got them in the Super League. You could have got them in the Super League, lads. So now you probably get relegated next year now or something.
Doubt it.
No, you probably won't. But it is interesting. But yeah, it's a funny old time, because it is. They could have done it without it being relegation free. It's funny. Well, that's apparently that's all it was. That everyone's like, oh, there's no risk with sports if you can't lose. And then you're like, oh, that's exactly what these guys are looking for. They're businessmen, and the worst thing about business is risk. You want steady return on your investment, and owning a club. I think that's why all the top clubs have much more. It's just about getting the Champions League. They don't really like. It's great to win the league. Like, big deal for Liverpool. They would have done anything, but it's not worth. Like, because they're all just spending so much money, and they're all kind of half broke as well, which is the crazy thing. It's just this endless treadmill of like, how do you keep going? Just buy more players for more wages, and
because it's only going one way.
Yeah, but like, more and more the players they're good, but they're not.
They're getting paid more, and now they have super agents.
Great, yeah.
And loads of them are terrible. Get paid millions.
And loads of them, once they get the big payday, just go, you know what? This is like, that's what they've been working towards their entire life, and then they're like, I'm supporting a whole village back home or something. I don't have to kill myself now, especially because it's such a squad game that you're really competing for places and stuff. You're like, I got 5 years on 300 grand a week.
Yeah. And then
I'll try at the end.
Stop playing.
Yeah, well, I'm sure they're playing real hard, but it's just so insane to be that competitive all the time. To maintain the zone.
Well, I was certainly never able to maintain any
You got
sort
the
of
zone in a different way.
Yeah. How though? What zone have I ever maintained? I don't know.
The funny zone. You're in the groove.
Okay.
You're just being. You're more at peace with yourself. You don't have to. You're not striving to prove anything, Graeme, which is your best quality.
Just have to prove myself.
You just
to my mom and dad.
Yeah, well, they've already.
I'm gonna make something of myself.
Given up on that. They've accepted you as you are. You're Zen, like all those monks, all those religious people and stuff. They're always like, just let go of everything. You are, just be who you are and be happy about it. And so you've already probably attained enlightenment. What? And everyone else is catching on.
I never would have said that about myself, but I'll take it.
Exactly. That's truly what an enlightened person would say. That's where you start getting into all that double talk where you're just like, only the truly enlightened don't think they're enlightened. Do you know that we were saying that we just turn a phrase inside out and it sounds really deep, even though it just means nothing. You know, I'm drinking some coffee, but is the coffee drinking me?
See you later, guys.
Tune in next week. It's been great. It's been beautiful.
Every man for himself.
Every man for himself. Adieu.
Bye bye. The Graeme and Joe Show.
That's good. That's probably a good